4-day cruise on the Utopia of the Seas was action-packed, but it wasn't all smooth seas. Dubbed the world's biggest weekend, this ship promised non-stop fun and it did not disappoint. The entertainment on board was next level with some of the best shows we've ever seen at sea, and there was no shortage of activities to keep us busy. But with over 6,000 passengers, the crowds could feel a bit overwhelming at times. The food and service had their ups and downs, sometimes really good, but other times not so great. So the real question though is, was 4 days enough to really experience everything this massive ship has to offer? And does Utopia of the Seas live up to the hype as the world's biggest weekend? Stick around to find out. Hey y'all, you don't know us as we're new around here, but we're excited to share our family cruising adventures with you. I'm Evan, and much of what you'll see from us here in the digital world will be from me, but the whole family's involved. That's Mackenzie. She's my amazing wife who's willing to put up with my crazy antics, like starting a YouTube channel. That's Kate, my fearless and kind-hearted daughter who's absolutely crazy about horseback riding. And that's Jackson, my sports and video game loving son who's so much like me at his age that it's not even funny. And together, we are
Family at Sea,
a new YouTube channel focused on sharing our cruising adventures so you can make the best possible memories with your own families. Whether you're new here or a loyal subscriber, welcome. In today's video, I'll be diving into our recent Caribbean adventure aboard the Utopia of the Seas. From the sunny beaches to the thrilling onboard activities, this cruise had a little bit of everything. We're talking epic shows, non-stop entertainment, and some surprising highs and lows. We discovered some hidden gems along the way that made the journey even more memorable. Before you can board the Utopia of the Seas, you'll need to go through the usual steps at the cruise port. For those of you new to cruising, this includes checking your bags with a porter, going through security, and completing check-in to get your SeaPass cards. A few things you'll want to keep in mind here. When you first arrive, you'll pull into the parking garage and the porters will be on your right-hand side. They'll be ready to take your luggage as soon as you step out of your vehicle. If you don't have your luggage tags, no worries. Just let the porter know your stateroom number and they'll take care of it. Be sure to keep a carry-on bag with you with essentials like IDs, swimsuits, dinner clothes, and any medications just in case your luggage takes a while to get to your room. Once your bags are taken care of, you'll walk straight ahead and to the left to enter the large terminal. From there, it's a breeze. Security was quick and check-in was one of the fastest we've ever experienced. Just make sure you have your passport or birth certificate and ID handy, along with your boarding pass, whether it's printed or digital. After check-in, you'll get your SeaPass card, which is essential for the entire cruise. Gets you on and off the ship, unlocks your stateroom, and it's used for all of your onboard purchases, from dining to entertainment and everything in between. Port Canaveral, known for its sunny weather and efficient operations, makes embarking a cruise smooth and hassle-free, even when boarding more than 6,000 passengers onto the Utopia of the Seas. So with all the formalities behind us, it was time to take that final stroll up the gangway and step aboard this magnificent ship for our Caribbean adventure.
Officially on vacation!
All right, woohoo! Ready to set sail? The Utopia of the Seas is not just one of the largest ships in Royal Caribbean's fleet, it's the second largest cruise ship in the entire world. At 236,000 gross tons and stretching over 1,100 feet, this ship truly redefines what a megaship can be. With more than 6,000 passengers and a crew of around 2,300, the Utopia boasts a guest-to-crew ratio of approximately 2.6 to 1, ensuring there's always someone ready to help while maintaining a lively atmosphere. As we boarded through the Royal Promenade on Deck 5 midship, we were instantly surrounded by the vibrant energy of the ship's heart. The modern design and the buzz of activity made it clear we were about to embark on a truly unforgettable adventure aboard the Utopia of the Seas. Before we get into what this cruise cost, a quick request. A lot of hard work goes into creating this content for you guys, and I genuinely hope you'll find it helpful as you plan your own cruise adventures. If you'd please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, it would mean the world to me. So with that out of the way, back to the review. Before we dive into all the exciting details of our journey on the Utopia, let's take a moment to discuss price. Wondering what a 4-day Caribbean cruise for a family of 4 might set you back? Well, let's break it down because a few factors can really influence your total. First off, the cabin type makes a big difference. For a budget-friendly option, an interior cabin on our Caribbean cruise cost around $1,500 for a family of 4 when you factor in all the taxes and port fees. If you're looking for something with a view, balcony rooms during our sailing ranged from around $2,000 to $3,000, roughly 60% more than an interior cabin. Ocean view rooms, which feature a porthole window but no balcony, were priced between these two around $1,800. For those wanting the ultimate in luxury, the suites are where it's at. This exclusive section of the ship includes access to the suite lounge, coastal kitchen, and a private sun deck with hot tub, wading pool, and ample lounging space with its own bar. Prices for these suites started at $5,000 and went up from there. We were fortunate enough to score a great price shortly before we set sail on a 1-bedroom grand suite on deck 17. This exclusive area, only accessible from the stairs and the elevators at the aft of the ship, is only accessible by guests staying in suites. In addition to the staterooms, you're going to find the coastal kitchen restaurant and the suite lounge on deck 17, plus the luxurious suite sun deck on deck 18, which includes a full bar, hot tub, wading pool, and ample loungers and cabana beds. The 1-bedroom grand suite is not much different than a standard balcony stateroom, but it's more spacious with a larger balcony and bathroom. As a Sky Class suite, it also came with Wi-Fi access for 1 device per person, plus access to a concierge who can help you with anything you may need, from booking reservations to handling any issues you may encounter on board. In addition, you'll get access to Coastal Kitchen and their premium gourmet menu, plus priority access on and off the ship. As soon as we boarded the ship, we headed up to our room to drop our bags off. It wasn't quite ready for us when we arrived, but our awesome steward Jose didn't mind us dropping things off. Since we were sailing as a family, that meant our room would be set up for 4 for our short 4-day sailing. In our grand suite, this meant that a trundle bed pulled out from below the couch to make a bed large enough for our 2 kids to sleep on, plus 2 twin beds pushed together to make what they refer to as a Royal King, but really it's just a double-sized bed. One of the unfortunate things about Royal is they cut housekeeping services from twice a day to once. So if you want turn-down service in the evenings, it'll come at the cost of having your room made up earlier in the day. We were in a suite, so we still receive service twice a day, but this is no longer the standard on Royal, so it's just something to be aware of if this is one of the things you've enjoyed in the past. Once we dropped our bags off in our room, we made our way down to Adventure Ocean, which is the name for the kids clubs on Royal Caribbean. They're located at the forward of deck 14. Visiting the kids clubs early is an essential part of any cruise for us, both because we want to beat the crowds when getting our kids registered, but also because they don't open for use until the evening of embarkation day, instead offering an open house for parents like us to see the space where their kids will be hanging out during our cruise, because once they've opened it for fun, they're no longer accessible by adults. If you haven't been on a cruise with young ones, kids clubs are an essential space for any family on a cruise ship. They are a hit among the young ones and a blessing for parents. These vibrant spaces offer a world of fun for the kids and some well-deserved downtime for the adults. We've got a detailed tour of each of the kids clubs in another video. These clubs aren't just about fun though. They're about fostering independence as the kids learn to navigate new settings and meet new faces. And though it's always hard to say goodbye to new friends at the cruise's end, the joy and growth they experience are priceless. When it comes to pools, the Utopia of the Seas has plenty to offer, though not all of them are what you might expect. Royal Caribbean advertises 5 pools on board, but in reality there are 3 pools that you can actually swim in, a dedicated kids splash pad, the Aqua Park, 3 water slides, and then several hot tubs and plunge pools scattered around the pool deck and in the adults only solarium. The main pools are great for relaxing and swimming, and the kids splash pad is perfect for families with little ones. The solarium, while a beautifully designed adult only space with great views, doesn't feature a true pool, just smaller plunge options. It's a great place to relax, especially in the evenings when the lights come on and there are less people, but don't expect to swim here. As for the water slides, there are 3, but they were a bit of a letdown. The slides themselves were slow, and the lines were even slower due to how inefficiently the crew managed the process. Unless you're really eager to ride, they're probably not worth the wait. One nice perk for suite guests is the suite sun deck area on deck 18, which includes a hot tub and a small wading pool, exclusively available to those staying in suites. It's a quieter, more private space if you're looking to avoid the crowds. Dining on the Utopia of the Seas was an adventure in itself. With more than 20 different dining options on board, there's no way to experience them all on a short 3 or 4 day cruise. We were able to try a few standouts, but there were plenty of spots we'd love to explore if we sail on the Utopia again. On embarkation day, we started with lunch at the Windjammer Buffet, which offered an impressive selection of seafood, including lobster, shrimp, and more, alongside the standard buffet options. It was a great way to kick off the cruise, and the variety was a very pleasant surprise. For dinners on nights 1 and 4, we dined at Coastal Kitchen, which is the exclusive restaurant for suite guests. The service here was excellent, and the menu changes daily, offering a wide variety of options. Both meals were quite good, and the personalized attention made the experience even better. We also had breakfast here on debarkation day. The staff did a fantastic job keeping things running smoothly. We enjoyed a memorable dinner on day 2 at 150 Central Park on deck 8. This is an upscale restaurant with a farm-to-table approach that was both elegant and delicious. The attention to detail on both the food and the service made it one of our favorite dining experiences on board. On day 3, during our sea day, we had lunch at the Mason Jar, Royal Caribbean Southern-style restaurant with live music. This was easily one of the best lunches we've ever had at sea. The brunch menu was filled with Southern comfort foods, and the atmosphere, complete with live tunes, made it a standout experience. That evening, we enjoyed a unique dining experience at the Royal Railway, a brand new, interactive, Wild West themed dinner on Utopia. While the food was only average, the show itself was fantastic, and the immersive setting made it a truly memorable experience. Priced at more than $400 for our family of 4, this was not a cheap dinner, but we felt it was worth it for the experience. If they rotate the shows over time, this is definitely something we'd do again, but if it remains the same show, then once is probably enough unless the price comes down quite a bit. On day 4, after spending the morning at Coco Cay, we decided to head back to the ship for lunch at the Windjammer. While the buffet food on the Utopia is decent, the service was consistently slow every time we dined there. Getting a drink, whether it was a soda or cocktail, was nearly impossible. So if you're planning to eat here, I highly recommend bringing your own drinks with you or grabbing water or juice from the self-serve stations. Overall, the food on the Utopia was good, but didn't blow us away. The variety of options is definitely a plus, and the service was strong for the most part, aside from the delays we experienced at the Windjammer. With so many places left to try, there's no doubt we'd want to come back for another round and dig deeper into the dining scene. The Vitality Fitness Center on the Utopia of the Seas, located on deck 15 at the aft of the ship, offers a well-equipped space for staying active during your cruise. The gym features a wide range of cardio machines, weight machines, and free weights, including plates, which is not something you're always going to find on a cruise ship. There's also a dedicated room for spin classes if you're looking for a more intense workout. While there are a few porthole windows, the gym doesn't have the large, sweeping ocean views you might find on some other ships, but even so, it's a solid setup for any fitness enthusiast. The gym was often crowded during peak times, but all the equipment was in great condition. We didn't encounter anything out of order. Despite the crowds, we did not have to wait long for equipment either. No cruise is complete without a bit of relaxation in the spa, but the Vitality at Sea Spa on the Utopia fell short of what we've come to expect from a spa on board a brand new ship. Located at the forward of Deck 5, the spa offers the usual range of treatments like massages, nail services, a barber shop, and even specialized options like teeth whitening and IV drips. However, the thermal spa was surprisingly small, especially for a ship of this size. It's also located in the interior of the ship, so don't expect any ocean views while you relax, something you might miss if you're used to unwinding with a view. The thermal spa features basic saunas, showers, and heated stone loungers, but lacks many of the more luxurious amenities found in thermal spas on other ships. If you're looking for a more upscale spa experience, this may leave you a bit disappointed. It seems like spa services were not the main focus for the Utopia, which leans more into its party atmosphere than pure relaxation. The prices, while slightly lower than what we saw on our recent Norwegian sailing, were still on the higher end. As an example, a standard 50-minute massage was going to run you $200 to $300 per person, and like many cruise ship spas, be prepared for upsells and product pitches throughout your visit. While the treatment options were typical of what you'd expect to see, the overall spa experience didn't quite match the level of luxury you might hope for. If relaxing in a top-tier spa is a priority for your cruise, you may find this offering a bit underwhelming. When it comes to family fun, the Utopia of the Seas delivers in a big way, with plenty of activities to keep everyone entertained. For thrill seekers, the zipline is an absolute must. Suspended high above the ship at the aft of Deck 15, it offers a heart-pounding ride with incredible views of the boardwalk before, and it's a great way to kick off your adventure on board. If you're looking for another adrenaline rush, the Ultimate Abyss Dry Slide is not to be missed. This multi-deck slide drops you 10 stories all the way down to the boardwalk. It's fast, thrilling, and sure to get your pulse racing. For a more relaxed vibe, there's a fun mini golf course on Deck 15 as well. It's a great activity for the whole family with whimsical obstacles and scenic views as you work your way through the course. The younger crowd will love the Playscape, an outdoor play area designed for kids to explore and climb. It's the perfect spot for kids to burn off some energy while parents take a break. For those up for a physical challenge, the rock climbing walls are a highlight. With various difficulty levels, climbers of all skill levels can test themselves as they scale the wall with fantastic views waiting at the top. And of course, for those who love a bit of classic fun, the arcade on Deck 15 offers a mix of traditional games and modern favorites. While it's smaller compared to some arcades on other ships, it's still a fun spot to grab a game or two during downtime. You'll also find a second, smaller arcade with more classic games at Playmakers down in Deck 6 on the boardwalk. The casino on the Utopia of the Seas, located on Deck 4 midship, is one of the largest at sea with nearly 400 slot machines and 30 table games. It's a lively and bustling space, but also the most crowded casino we have ever played in. The table games were constantly full, so much so that we never managed to find an open seat despite trying numerous times. Even the slot machines were hard to come by, forcing us to play whatever happened to be available versus getting to play our favorites. While we didn't get a chance to meet the casino host, likely due to how crowded the casino was, the crew members we did interact with were friendly and efficient. Whether helping with the machines or general questions, the staff kept things running smoothly despite the crowd. The other major drawback to the casino on the Utopia was the lack of separation between the smoking and non-smoking areas. While only half the casino is designated as smoking permitted, the smoke was noticeable even on the non-smoking side, which was less than ideal, especially when compared to their sister company Celebrity's smoke-free casinos. There's a much smaller smoke-free casino at the forward of Deck 4 by the theaters, but every time we went in there, things were so crowded we couldn't even find a spot to play. Overall, the casino offers a lot in terms of variety and size, but the overwhelming crowds and the smoke make it a challenge to really fully enjoy. Be prepared for a busy atmosphere if you do plan to try your luck. The Utopia of the Seas offers a variety of breathtaking shows, and each one we saw left a lasting impression. We kicked off day one with Utopia, which is an ice show in Studio B located toward the forward of Deck 4. There's something magical about watching an ice performance while cruising in the middle of the ocean, and this show did not disappoint.
1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. They always wanna come back to me.
The music and choreography were energetic and well executed, making it a fantastic way to start our entertainment lineup. Later that evening, we headed to the Royal Theater, also at the forward of Deck 4, to see All In, which is a more traditional production. The music was fantastic and the choreography was on point, though it didn't quite deliver the same wow factor as some of the other shows on board. Still, it was highly enjoyable and a solid performance to wrap up our first night. The highlight of the entire cruise, though, was undoubtedly Aqua 82, performed in the Aqua Theater at the aft of Deck 6. This show was absolutely incredible, featuring world-class acrobatics, stunning music, and perfectly synchronized choreography. performance you'd expect to pay top dollar for in Las Vegas, but on the Utopia, it's part of the experience. We were lucky enough to catch the very first showing, and even from the third row, we got a little bit wet. Those brave enough to sit in the front row got absolutely soaked. Unfortunately, this second showing ran into a technical issue, cutting the performance short, and whatever that issue was not resolved until the final day of the cruise, meaning many guests missed out on seeing this remarkable show, and understandably, they were quite disappointed. One important tip I'll give you here. We were fortunate to secure our tickets for each show in advance through the Royal Caribbean website. For guests who didn't have tickets, the lines were incredibly long and seating was not guaranteed. Even those who made it in ended up with less desirable seats, so I highly recommend booking your spots ahead of time to avoid missing out. I heard all sorts of different timelines for when those tickets would be available, anywhere from 30 days prior to the first day of the month of your sailing, etc. But for us, it ended up being only 3 days before we set sail. For another sailing, they didn't even get to book theirs until they were on the ship, so there's no real rhyme or reason to when you're able to book them. One other thing to note there is you were only able to book them through the website and not the app. For whatever reason, the app was not fully functional for things that were pre-boarding. If there's one small critique, it's that I wish there had been a bit more variety in the Royal Theater throughout the week, as you typically find on other cruise ships. But with the quality of the shows being so high, it's a minor point in an otherwise outstanding entertainment experience. Overall, the shows on the Utopia of the Seas were a true highlight of our cruise. From the unique ice show to the jaw-dropping Aqua 82, Royal Caribbean continues to deliver some of the best performances at sea, and we were thoroughly impressed. The Utopia of the Seas is billed as the world's largest weekend, and with all the nightlife options, it really aims to live up to that title. From live music and high-energy venues to more relaxed bars, there's something for everyone once the sun goes down. Most of the nightlife on board tends to wind down around midnight, but there's a few venues that stay open even later. The Attic, Utopia's comedy club, often runs later shows that push past midnight, giving night owls a place to laugh long after other venues have closed. The same goes for the music hall, where live tribute bands keep the party going with energetic performances into the early hours of the morning. If you're looking for something more interactive, Spotlight Karaoke is a fun stop. You can sing your heart out or grab a private room for a little more intimate experience with friends. And if you want to move to a different beat, the silent disco in the solarium offers a unique way to dance the night away. Headphones on and everyone enjoying their own music. One of the most lively venues is Bolero's, which is the Latin-themed bar with live music and dancing. The atmosphere here is electric, especially later in the evening when the band picks up the pace with salsa and samba. It's the perfect spot for those who want to keep the energy high late into the night. For those seeking a quieter vibe, you won't have to look far. There are plenty of laid-back spaces to unwind, like the Schooner Bar, where live piano music sets a relaxed tone. Even with the lively energy throughout the ship, we found there were always quieter spots available if you weren't in the mood for a party. One thing we were happy about is that despite all the activity, the soundproofing in our room was excellent, and we never had any issues with noise, even when the party was still going strong just a few decks away. Whether you're in the mood for a dance party, comedy show, or just a chill evening with a cocktail, Utopia is something for everyone, making it one of the most exciting ships for nightlife we've ever experienced. The Royal Promenade on Deck 5 truly feels like the pulse of the Utopia. It's the first thing you see when stepping aboard the ship, and it serves as a vibrant hub of activity throughout the cruise. With a variety of dining options, music venues, boutique shops, bars, and even a Starbucks, there's always something happening here. This open, beautifully designed space is perfect for a stroll or a quick photo op in front of the classic car or the Utopia sign. One of the coolest features of the Royal Promenade is the Rising Tide Bar. This bar slowly moves between Deck 5 and Central Park on Deck 8, making it a unique experience as you sip on your favorite cocktail while gently rising between decks. It's a fun and memorable way to enjoy a drink while taking in different views of the ship. At night, the promenade transforms into the heart of the ship's nightlife. Whether you're grabbing a cocktail at the Pesky Parrot or enjoying live music at Bolero's, this area stays busy well into the evening. One of the more touching moments happened on the morning of 9/11, when a large American flag was displayed in the Royal Promenade, along with a patriotic cupcake arrangement in honor of the lives lost that day. It was a moving tribute that showed the ship's ability to create community moments, even amid all the fun. And I'd be remiss to not mention the Pesky Parrot, which is the newest bar concept that Royal Caribbean unleashed with the Utopia of the Seas. This is a fun bar with a Caribbean vibe and a menu full of great drink choices that you're sure to enjoy if you're looking for a great spot to hang out. The boardwalk on the aft of Deck 6 is one of the most fun and family-friendly spots on the Utopia. Inspired by the nostalgic vibe of a seaside boardwalk, this area is full of activities and entertainment options to keep everyone engaged, no matter your age. One of the highlights here is the classic hand-carved carousel, a charming attraction that adds a bit of nostalgia as you stroll through this lively neighborhood. For a bite to eat, you can stop at Boardwalk Doghouse, offering a variety of hot dogs, sausages, and brats with a range of toppings. Or grab a sweet treat at Sugar Beach, a candy shop filled with colorful sweets and ice cream. If you're looking for something more filling, Johnny Rockets is the place to be with its 1950s diner theme, serving up burgers, fries, and milkshakes in a classic American setting. The Playmaker Sports Bar and Arcade is a great place to catch a game on one of their many screens while enjoying some wings or sliders. There's also an arcade filled with games, so it's a perfect spot for kids and adults who want to have some fun. The Aqua Theater at the very end of the boardwalk is another can't miss feature. This open-air amphitheater hosts some of the most jaw-dropping shows at sea, complete with acrobatics and synchronized water performances. The atmosphere on the boardwalk is always buzzing, especially with the live music and events held here throughout the cruise. Central Park on Deck 8 is one of the most stunning areas aboard the Utopia of the Seas. This open-air space is filled with lush greenery featuring over 10,000 live plants, giving it a peaceful, garden-like atmosphere that makes you forget you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. The pathways are lined with cozy seating areas, making it the perfect spot to take a stroll, relax with a book, or simply enjoy the calm ambiance. Dining options here are top-notch with Chops Grill, which is a favorite steakhouse, and the elegant 150 Central Park, offering upscale dining experiences. Izumi Hibachi and Sushi also makes an appearance, adding a fun interactive element to dining in the park. For a quick bite or a casual lunch, you can stop by the Park Cafe for sandwiches, salads, and light snacks. At night, the Trellis Bar is a great spot to grab a pre-dinner drink or wind down with a cocktail under the stars. Plus, the Rising Tide Bar glides smoothly between decks 5 and 8, adding another layer of excitement and movement to this serene space. One of the most impressive things about Central Park is the blend of nature and architecture. The tranquil environment is balanced with lively music from nearby venues, making it a multifunctional space that's perfect whether you're looking for quiet relaxation or a vibrant social atmosphere. Like we do with every cruise, we went into our journey on the Utopia with zero expectations. And like every cruise, there were some bright spots and some areas we really didn't care for. When I'm reviewing ships, I do my best to always be objective. And to help with that, we have what we call our Cruiser's Beacon. This is a standardized system we use to score different cruise ships against one another. Some things to note here. Our ratings will be based on a scale from 1 to 10, but we're going to try not to ever use a score of 7 because that's essentially it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible default score. I want to try and force us to really put some thought into things. There will be times like this sailing where we're sailing in a suite that comes with premium amenities and service. However, 95% of people on the ships are not in the suite, so we will not be considering the suite experiences when scoring these, instead focusing only on the experiences outside these suite areas. With those considerations out of the way, the categories we will be scoring things based on are: first, crew. The staff on board the ship is potentially the most important part of any cruise experience. You can be on a completely average ship with incredible crew and still have a great experience. On the flip side of that, even on the greatest ship, if the crew doesn't do their part, you're probably not going to have a very good time. Next is dining. Food is one of the things people talk about the most after their cruising adventures, so we want to make sure you know exactly what to expect, not only for the food, but also the service that comes along with it. Entertainment. We love a great show, whether it's in the main theater, a lounge, or anywhere else on the ship. The onboard entertainment is extremely important to us, and we know it is to a lot of you as well. Family friendly. For this category, we'll be rating things considering factors such as how fun are the kids clubs? How many kid-friendly activities are there? How is the staff with kids? How many different kid-friendly food options are there and how good are they? And anything else that may impact our kids and our family's enjoyment of the ship, which sets us up well to talk about the ship itself because that makes a big difference. Is it clean? Have things been well maintained or are lots of things broken? Are things well laid out? How crowded do things feel? There's a lot to consider here to fit it all into a single category, but we're going to do our best to do exactly that. Next category is value, and this is the category that measures the overall experience versus the price paid for the cruise. It also factors in things like how much is actually included in the fare versus things that are an additional cost. And finally, the overall score will be a composite of the 6 categories to come up with an overall score that can be used to objectively measure ships against each other as we do more of these. Alright, the moments you've been waiting for. How does the Utopia measure up? First up, the crew. The crew on board the Utopia of the Seas was generally friendly and efficient, especially considering the size of the ship and the number of guests they were managing. In particular, we found that staff at most venues were quick to help, always maintaining a positive and welcoming attitude. However, there were moments where the sheer volume of passengers seemed to stretch the crew thin, such as in the Windjammer buffet where it was hard to get drinks or timely service. Despite these few hiccups, the crew did their best to keep everything running smoothly, and for these reasons, I'm scoring the crew a very impressive 8 out of 10. The Utopia boasts a wide range of dining options, with over 20 restaurants to choose from, including signature spots like Chops Grill, 150 Central Park, and the Mason Jar. While the variety is impressive, the food itself was good but not spectacular. We had a couple of standout meals, particularly at 150 Central Park and Coastal Kitchen, but we found some inconsistencies in service, especially in the Windjammer. The seafood options in the buffet on Embarkation Day were a pleasant surprise, but overall the food didn't quite reach the heights we've experienced on some other ships. Also, as those of you who follow me know, I'm a big creme brulee fan, and this was difficult but not impossible to find on the ship. If I was scoring things on food alone, I'd give it an 8, but because of the issues faced with service in the Windjammer and some other moments in other restaurants, I'm going to score this category a 6 out of 10. Next up is entertainment, and entertainment is where the Utopia truly shines. The shows, including Aqua 82, Utopia, and All In, were some of the best we've seen at sea. The acrobatics in Aqua 82 were Vegas quality, and the music in each production was fantastic. Even the smaller performances in lounges and on the Royal Promenade were impressive. The only real downside here were the limited number of different shows in the main theater and the technical difficulties faced in the Aqua Theater that prevented a lot of people from seeing that amazing show. But overall, Royal Caribbean knocked it out of the park in this category, so I'm giving them a 9 out of 10. Alright, now onto a category that really matters to us. How family friendly are things on the Utopia? The Utopia is a fantastic ship for families. The Adventure Oceans Kids Club offered a wide range of activities, and our kids loved the variety of fun things to do across the ship, including the water slides, the Ultimate Abyss Dry Slide, Aqua Dunes Mini Golf, and Playscape. The arcade was also a big hit. While the food options for kids were only decent, we appreciated that they could explore the adult menus in some of the restaurants as well. Overall, Royal Caribbean did a great job ensuring there were plenty of activities and dining options to keep the whole family entertained. So we're scoring the family friendliness of the Utopia an 8 out of 10. And now, the ship itself. The Utopia is brand new and it shows. Everything was in excellent condition, from the sleek design of the staterooms to the well-maintained public areas like Central Park and the Royal Promenade. That being said, there were times the ship felt very crowded, especially in popular areas like the pool deck and the casino, and sometimes in lines for those shows. Even with its massive size, the number of passengers on board made certain spots feel a bit overwhelming at times. However, it's hard to argue the ship's overall design and aesthetic. It is a stunning vessel with plenty of spots to explore. So I'm scoring this an 8 out of 10. Before I move on to this next category, if you found found anything of value or interest in this video, would you please do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel? This is your way to let YouTube know that you appreciate the content being created and that they should show it to more people, and it'd mean the world to me personally. So with that out of the way, how good of a value is a cruise on the Utopia? For a 4-day cruise, Utopia offers a lot in terms of entertainment, dining, and activities. However, the extras can add up quickly, especially if you want to dine at specialty restaurants, purchase drinks, or use Wi-Fi while on board. While the base fare provides plenty to keep you busy, be prepared for additional costs, especially if you're looking to maximize your experience. The cost of cruising has gone up significantly in the past few years, and Royal is no exception. While there's still a bargain compared to Disney Cruise Line and some of the luxury options, they're still priced at a premium when compared to other cruise lines like Carnival or MSC. That said, the overall quality of the ship and the experience definitely justifies the price, especially when considering the entertainment and overall ship design. So I'm scoring this an 8 out of 10. Alright, so when you take all the categories into account, the Utopia of the Seas provides a well-rounded, high-energy cruising experience. The entertainment is a standout and the dining options are solid, and the ship itself is a sight to behold. There were a few minor issues, particularly with the crowds and the occasional slip in service, but overall, it's a great option for families and for couples looking for a fun, action-packed cruise. So with all the categories scored, how do things stack up when combined? The Utopia's combined score of 47 divided by 6 categories gives us a very impressive overall score of 7.3 out of 10. So that's a wrap on our in-depth review of the Utopia of the Seas. If you stuck with us until the end, thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. Overall, this cruise was a great experience. While there were a few areas that could have been better, like the crowd levels and some minor service issues, the Utopia still delivered in all the key areas. The shows were some of the best we've ever seen at sea, and the ship itself was stunning with an endless variety of activities for the whole family. Royal Caribbean really does try to live up to the hype as the world's largest weekend, and for the most part, they succeed. If you're booked on the Utopia or considering it, I think you're in for a fun, action-packed cruise. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of the Family at Sea community. Until next time, smooth seas, happy sails, and here's to making incredible memories on your next cruise vacation. Bon voyage!